that it's a failure. There was recently a study by the U.S. intelligence that said that it's actually increasing the recruitment for terrorists. It has made the world a more dangerous place. A lot of people say, well, we haven't had a terrorist attack in the United States, but terrorist attacks throughout the world have gone up dramatically. People are dying at a faster rate now than when Saddam was in power. We've done a terrible job there. Congress hasn't even declared war. It's this war zone. We've dropped over 50,000 bombs. It's a terrible thing. We need to get out of there as fast as possible. Congress needs to stop funding that war, and it's a terrible thing for U.S. It's actually recruiting more. It's making things worse.
I agree with many of the things that Mr. Holman said. However, the war is fundamentally unconstitutional because there was no declaration of war. I'll refer back to my other statements, what the definition of constitutional government is. Also, we do everything by resolution. The United Nations Charter is more than just a treaty. It's a constitution for world government. And both major parties have been using that constitution to establish their justice. Now, there's only two plans in this world. There's the divine plan established by the founding fathers and the political plan. The political plan offered by both major parties is basically the redistribution of wealth through the taxing process known as socialism, with America footing the bill. And that's what's happening over in Iraq right now. We need to get out of there. We need to come home, mind our own business.
Well, I think what is happening in Iraq is that you're having a breakdown under ethnic lines. A lot what happened in the Balkans when EO was removed, and the key is that we've got to be successful when it comes to Iraq. And whether or not you agree how we went there, the fact is we're there. I think it's quite clear that the civilian leadership who's been managing the war has been an absolute failure. There are many commentators that say that Donald Rumsfeld, with his agenda and his stubbornness, has ignored the advice of the military professionals by not giving us adequate armor and not giving us adequate troop levels. We need a change in the civil leadership. We need to go in there and use diplomacy and force to get this into three regions with the Kurds, the Sunnis, and the Shias, and give them self-government, and then come up with a cooperative atmosphere whereby they can have shared power, but at the same time maintain local control, and then get redeployed. And that's the best path to the problem in Iraq.
I was recently giving a speech, and afterward bumped into a fellow who is a retired general of Special Forces units, and he railed on how awful things are in Iraq, and finally he was very angry, and he said, and the only thing worse than what we're doing in Iraq today would be to leave. So I think the fact is we've got to stay there. We have, in fact, declared war. It is not a declaration of war against a country because we're not fighting a country. We declared war twice in Congress, and I suggest that anybody interested in this should go back and look at these declarations. They're very thoughtful, very careful, and they have declared war on the group of people that would destroy our civilization through terrorism. And they are bent on doing that. They're killing people in Iraq at a greater rate because they are opposing us and freedom in Iraq, and we need to oppose them before they destroy everything in the world that is meaningful. The purpose of civilization is to civilize, and we need to do that. We need to do it in Iraq. We need to continue our efforts in Afghanistan. We can do things better. I don't think we all agree that what is happening is not the best. I think, in fact, I know, because I've talked to President Bush about it, that he agrees that we can do it better. And we are learning there. But we need to fight these people who want to destroy modernity and the systems that are providing so much good for so many people in America and around the world.